Let's take a look at how to do the mastery items for week 7A. Question number 1. Determine the radius of a sphere with a volume of 5,000 centimeters cubed. All right, we have a formula that relates the volume of a sphere to the radius. And this is the formula right here. Volume is equal to 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. You should have that written down. The volume we know is 5,000 centimeters cubed, and we are trying to calculate the radius. So let's fill in our variables. 5,000 is equal to 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Now we have to solve for our radius. To do that, we have to undo all the math operations involved here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the 3 on the denominator by timesing everything by 3. That will give us 15,000 is equal to 4 pi times the radius cubed. Now, I'm going to divide everything by 4. So I'm going to take everything and divide it by 4. I'm going to get pi times the radius cubed is equal to 3,750. I used a calculator to do that. Now I want to get rid of the pi, so I'm going to divide everything out by pi. That will get rid of the pi. And going to my calculator, I divide by pi, and I get approximately 1,193.7. Now that's equal to my radius cubed, so finally I have to cube root everything. Cube root everything. So my r is equal to 10.6. And that will be in centimeters. So it's important that you know how to take a formula and work it backwards. I'm going to erase my work here. And put up my answer. All right, let's move on to question number 2. Determine the height of this isosceles triangle. Right there's my height. All right, we know a couple of facts here. We know that this whole angle is equal to 80 degrees. And we know that this whole side right here is equal to 8 meters. Now, to figure out the height, we want a right angle triangle so we can use sine, cosine, and tangent. Well, let's take a look at half of this triangle. I'm going to sketch out half of the triangle on this side. If I sketch out just half this triangle, this length is going to be 4 meters. And because it's an isosceles triangle, the height cuts this top angle here right in half. So I'm going to get a 40-degree angle here. And now I'm going to find my height. Now I've got a right angle triangle. I can determine whether to use sine, cosine, or tangent. Since this is my angle, this is my opposite side, and this is my adjacent side. So I'm going to use tangent because tangent is equal to your opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to write out my formula. Tangent of an angle is equal to my opposite side over my adjacent side. I have 3 variables here, and I have 2 numbers to fill in. So I write in tangent of 40 is equal to 4 meters over my adjacent side. Now, anytime we get in a situation where our variable is unknown is on the denominator, we'll swap these 2 out and we'll get our adjacent side is equal to 4 meters divided by tangent of 40. Finally, I just solved that on my calculator. 4 divided by 40 tan equals about 4.8. So my adjacent side is equal to about 4.8 meters. So in this triangle, my height is about 4.8 meters. So I'm going to erase all this work and put the answer by the question. So the height is equal to 4.8 meters. All right, on to question number 3, where we are going to factor the following trinomials. Factoring a trinomial means we take this trinomial and we break it into two binomials that multiply together to give us this trinomial. So to do that, I have to think, what multiplies to 20 but adds to give me 4? And I think, what multiplies to 20? 1 and 20, but they don't add to give me 9. Sorry, that should be add to give us 9. 2 and 10 don't add to give us 9. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. 4 plus 5. Those two will work, and they both need to be positive here. So we are going to have x plus 4 times x plus 5. All right, let's look at the second one. Again, I need to think, what multiplies to 20 but adds this time to negative 9? Well, it's going to be 4 and 5 again, but it has to be negative 4 and negative 5. So in this one, I'm going to get x minus 4 and x minus 5. Letter C, we work with the same process. What multiplies to minus 80 and adds to plus 2? Well, 1 and 80 don't. 2 and 40 don't. 4 and 20 don't. 5 and 16? No. 6 doesn't work. 7 doesn't work. 8 and 10. 8 and 10 do. Now, one of them has to be negative and one of them has to be positive. In this case, since they have to add up to plus 2, our 10 has to be positive and our 8 has to be negative. So our two factors will be x minus 8 and x plus 10. Right, our last question. Again, what multiplies together to give us minus 80? And what adds together to give us plus 2? Well, look at this. It's the same question. I believe I was supposed to change this question, but I didn't. So we're going to get the same answer right here. However, how I was supposed to do this question was like this. X squared minus 2x minus 80. How would that change the answer? Well, it would still be 8 and 10, only this time our 8 would be positive and our 10 would be negative. All right, so that's how you do all the questions on the Mastery Items Week 7A. If you have any questions, please contact me as soon as possible. And thank you for watching.